good?
Yeah, we're good. Hey.
So we're back. Episode 6 of
The Gray
Yes
Podcast. With gray people.
That's right.
Gray
Gray people,
dudes.
gray subjects.
Old man.
Gray
subjects.
Gray,
Yeah.
gray areas.
You should see what he has planned.
Yes,
It's
yes.
terrible.
I'm the mad genius behind this.
Mad genius. He's the controversial, gonna get us in trouble guy is what he is. I'm trying to like...
I'm the one that likes to push the buttons.
Oh my god. I'm like, what can we talk about? Like, maybe the PSVR 2, which we didn't talk about at all.
Hey, push the button. Push the button.
Pushes the buttons.
My button, not your button. My button.
Well, whatever. And then I have to talk about it and either, support or defend.
I've
I don't know.
had a few comments about our political views already, and people have made the comment of Carl had some serious disdain for our leader.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
So, all right, guys, let's get straight into it.
Leader my ass.
See? So, topics today. We're going to talk about musical acts, bands and stuff that we, as some point in your life, you might have wanted to see and stuff. And, like anybody else, these people age.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them don't know when to quit.
Yeah.
Right?
Look, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Then after that, we're going to get into cults. We're going to talk some cults. You realize there's been cults too in Canada that I really wasn't aware of myself?
You mean the one I'm trying to start?
Okay. And last but not least, our last segment will be cars.
Cars? Oh, I thought you said Carl's, and I'm like, Carl's what?
No, cars.
Uh-huh.
Cars.
Yeah,
and,
we looked at the video just now.
and muscle cars.
Sounds
and,
good.
And different type of cars.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a truck, really.
Oh, the truck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ideas I've had in my mind when I saw that was like, right?
I want to challenge. Anyway, this truck is pretty sweet sounding.
So, all right, let's go back to the first segment. So, how I got to this subject was, so we were forever been fans of Megadeth.
Mm-hmm. Megadeth,
Yep.
Megadeth was great. Countdown to Extinction was a great album.
Yep. Euthanasia too. I loved Euthanasia.
Yeah, it was our time there. Yeah.
So, the closest they come for us at this point, I think, has been like Toronto, Montreal. They've been there a few times.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? And
I've never seen them live.
Yeah, neither have I. And this summer they're actually coming.
To Moncton?
To Moncton.
Oh, are we going?
No.
Oh, you chickened out, right, or something?
No. And this is how I got to this thing. And then like Guns N' Roses also is coming.
Right.
Hey,
but you know what? My brother told me back in the day, like Kiss came to Moncton.
Really?
As well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They
were touring and.
But I mean, after they built that site in Moncton, some big names have come by, right? Like AC/DC's been here. The Stones have been here.
Hey, the Stones show was excellent.
AC/DC came twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The first time was such a good success that they did another show after that.
I think I've seen them too.
Have
I'm
you?
not sure if I was there in Moncton.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And yeah, there's been quite a few acts there, like come through to Moncton, and like back in the day, like I loved Megadeth, I loved Guns N' Roses. They sounded great. Acts could go and put on a show and
I mean, from every live video thing I've seen of Guns N' Roses and Axl, he can't sing, can't do it.
He can sing, but I mean, let's be honest. When you're in the studio, yourself.
In the studio, you have 8 months to do the lines properly.
And not just that, they polished that turd.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, it's polished, right? Like,
why do you think we sound so good right now? Took me about 8 hours.
So, yeah, and you got for example, we've had this conversation. What was that last year?
Last year, yeah, I saw John Fogerty at the Rogers Center in Vancouver. Yeah.
And I mean,
I had a front row. I was like, the dude was there. It was me and him.
Yeah, but like seeing him now is not seeing him when he was in CCR, right? Like it's not.
Yeah,
the man is older. The man is
he doesn't hit the high notes as high, and he has his kids playing as a band backup. It's not CCR. It's John Fogerty, right? With a band.
Yeah.
And the age definitely was there, which wasn't so bad. However, my biggest thing, that we're aging and stuff and all the bands.
For sure.
However, I think the type of music they play is not for big stadium stuff. Even for me, like when I play music, I don't want to be in such a large venue because then I don't have a relationship with the audience. I feel like that music, CCR and most rock and stuff, it's better to have a smaller venue, maybe up to like $2,000, 2,000 people at most.
Yeah.
500 is great. But much more, it's I'd rather watch it on TV kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's like Mustaine, like with Megadeth, he's still Dave Mustaine, and that argument you made for Axl could be said for Mustaine as well.
I don't know. He sounds okay.
Yeah, but Mustaine now is not Mustaine from the 90s, or it doesn't sound the same. Like,
sure, yeah.
Right?
It still sounds like him.
Yeah, but it's not as pristine, it's not as sharp, it's not as like it's older.
It's older. Like
Right?
I'm watching Star Trek Picard, and yeah, Patrick Stewart is old.
Right.
Older. He was 82, I think.
He was
83.
old. He was old then.
When he first made the TNG, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you got bands like the Stone who still perform, and like even
Hey, when I saw the Stones though in Moncton that year,
Yeah.
however many years ago it was excellent.
But I mean,
It was awesome.
they were old when we were growing up,
They were very old when we were growing up,
right? So they're super old now, and
Yep.
they're still going. And then like Motley Crue just started touring again. I'm sorry, Vince Neil is not the Bay Magnet he was back in the old days. He's got a big gut like us. And,
He looks like us.
Yeah.
But he thinks he's sexy. Yes.
yeah, right? And then Mick Mars finally
I heard
called it quits. He called it quits.
Called it quits. Wasn't there
He's
some
done.
kind of like legal controversy with something?
Not,
Mick Mars? Or is it just because he called it quits because they're in the news there lately?
oh, I'm not. I believed he said he had enough because he's got the spine condition, right? Like
Okay.
his spine is, I forget what it's called, but it's compressing. Is like he's in cement.
Getting old. Oh, it's like fusing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And they replaced him with John 5.
Nice.
And he doesn't, for me, he doesn't fit there. Like
For Motley Crue?
like
It could be worse than Josh Koshinger guy that Chili Peppers had for an album.
yeah, yeah. But
I
it's
was
like,
dude, you're doing metal.
it's like all
It's
these Motley Crue guys besides Vince Neil were all dark haired, and now and Vince
hair metal.
But Vince Neil is the only blonde guy in the group, right? That's
Oh, yeah,
right?
sure.
And now you have
Sure.
two blonde guys in the group. It looks so weird because the entirety of Motley Crue
That's
is
not the look, man.
no. It's like one blonde guy, three, right? It's just-
Was Motley Crue always Vince Neil as a singer? Or did they have a change? Oh, I'm thinking Van Halen.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Because Van Halen had David Lee Roth, then they had Sammy Hagar,
Sammy Hagar, yeah.
and then they had the guy from Extreme there, Gary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was brief.
That was very.
It wasn't very good. No, because I mean, you get, it's like, remember a few years ago, ECDC,
Brian got sick or something?
and took a break, and Axl filled in,
Oh, okay.
right? It's
I haven't listened
it's
to
not
any
the
of
same.
that.
It's just not the same.
Well, it's not. It's Axl. It's Guns N' Roses trying to sing for AC/DC.
Yeah, right. And then it's in those, if you pay your ticket, you want to see what you want to see, right? You want to see AC/DC. You don't want to see AC/DC with Axl in
Actual
the front,
vocals, yeah.
right? Like it'd be like us going to see fucking Metallica with fucking Dave Grohl as singer. Like, no, that's not what we paid for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. David Grohl. I'm like, how about Dave Mustaine?
No,
But no, they're too similar.
and I like to pick. You're going there because that whole beef they've had.
Well, I'm just comparing. Who could you reasonably replace your current band singer to be somewhat on the same to do the job? But they haven't done that, really. Like Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, it's not the same kind of category of music. It's different.
Yeah, but and as far as Mustaine and Metallica, they've made up since then. They've talked.
Oh, okay.
He's performed with them on stage, played
really?
with them and stuff. So which was
But have you guys listened to any Megadeth? I've listened to it old, even at the time. I knew, I'm like, this song's long, and I was listening. See, the song should end here, but of course, there's another big ass solo. Like,
for sure. But that's metal, especially that metal at
those times.
Oh yeah. Metal's not like that now.
Well, I don't know. You sent me a link to Dave Mustaine's latest video of kind of like it
was
the world blowing up or something.
Fan-made video sort of thing.
Are you sure it was a fan-made video? I'm pretty sure it was like the official
maybe
Megadeth video. But again, it's like 7 minutes long for a song that should be 3 minutes.
Yeah. But
I prefer like 2.5 minute, 3 minute songs. That when I write, that's.
But it's like these bands at this point, you need to know when to call it quits.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You
for this type of music with the crowd and the atmosphere you're trying to bring, you're not there anymore, man.
Yeah, and like enjoy retirement. You've made your money at this point, right? Like enjoy life.
Problem with being famous is that you want to keep being relevant the whole time. It's like, no, retired, hang out.
So that's it for that.
So we're trying to be good on our time.
Yeah. So we're gonna move into the next subject.
Next subject,
and we're gonna talk about cults.
Now that being said, Mr. Cult Man, you did eat 2 minutes of your last segment from your intro. That's supposed to be a minute long. Maybe we should double it to 2 minutes. Just in case for next time.
Okay. Deal.
Trying to get some kind of quality product here, man.
So as far as cults go,
the KKK. That's a cult.
No,
that's a legitimate cult at one point. Like, no, this is okay. This is Christian.
It seems to me cults are all religious based things, right? Like these people must be searching for something initially when they find these cults,
like their own religion kind of thing, like
or whatever appeases to them inside, like
right.
They're searching for something, and then
people who fall into the trap or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think I think for a lot of people that falls into the trap is people who don't feel this woke movement is people who don't feel accepted. And then they find people who accepts them, and then they fall into being brainwashed, essentially.
Yeah. And I mean, you looking back, like I don't know if you remember back in '97 that whole Heaven's Gate thing. There was a comet in the sky at the time.
Okay.
And they were perceiving, the leaders of that cult were perceiving that comet as a sign that it was time
to kill themselves.
Yeah.
All right, so a suicide cult.
So they did that.
Now, is this the one that they found a bunch of people asphyxiated, essentially?
Yes. They had bags and stuff over their heads.
Oh,
and stuff like that. That was in '97. That was Heaven's Gate. One of the leaders, his name is Marshall Herf.
Okay. Now, did he kill himself too?
He did too, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because most of the time what happens is that leaders like and take all their inheritance because they've left all their inheritance to this dude.
Yeah. And even like, you remember Jonestown? You remember that? This was back in the 70s. Jim Jones.
See, you have to tell me these things beforehand so I can look it up. So we have something to talk about.
That's not something you're into? Like,
no,
like I love
Nintendo, man.
I love stuff like of the occult, like serial killers, cults, like watch documentaries about.
You're not allowed here after 7.
Serial killers' minds and how they work, and seeing like a lot of times serial killers stuff like that. They're made from their upbringing, right?
Right. Yeah.
And what they go through, and it's almost cliche that a lot of these people, it's like they were victims at one point.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll agree with that. I think.
So,
and even a lot of the shootings happening in the U.S. right now and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure just because the world is different now with social media and stuff, they get caught faster and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure that would be the beginnings of like serial killers and whatnot.
And then, like, do you remember Waco? The Branch Davidians, David Koresh. Does that say anything to you?
See, when you say Waco to me, that's one of the like, not Looney Tunes, but the 3 Animaniacs. That sounds like one of the Animaniacs to me. Waco.
You don't remember Waco, Texas? The Branch Davidians was another thing. Like he was calling himself the prophet and stuff like that.
Well, I think I'm like pretty
Right.
high up there.
But that's dangerous when somebody is intelligent enough,
Well, to like bamboozle, scamdoozle, like,
you know,
like
and like
hundreds of people.
have all these people, and like say like you're a married man with a wife, and he basically tells you you can't have sex with your wife anymore,
Oh, right.
and
Yeah.
and he's gonna have
And they listen. Yeah.
yeah, and they sure
Sure. Makes sense to me.
yeah, I'll go with that. Right, and stuff. But then again, especially that Waco situation, that was really mishandled, and like the feds and stuff. Oh, they fucked up.
Okay, well,
Big
talk to me here. How do they mishandle that?
So this compound that these Branch Davidians are in, feds had a tip off or something that they were, you know, making arms and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
And grenades and stuff like that. So they wanted to investigate and you know, enter the compound and see if there was something to that and seize or whatever if they did.
Yeah.
But when they like in these compounds, it's not just men, right? It's men, it's women, it's children.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. Everything has to be
yeah.
calculated, and it got out of hand real quick.
So like shots fired everywhere.
Oh
grenades
yeah.
thrown,
Shots had been fired.
both sides, or
Well, I believe initially, I mean, you know, the government will never say that they shot first,
right,
right? And we weren't there, so there has to be some both sides have said the opposite side shot first,
right,
right?
Just like the strike we have going on right now.
But like, they when they did that, the media, like 4 officers, FBI officers got shot. A bunch of Branch Davidians got shot also and injured, just like that. But when you saw it in the media, the only party they were concerned about were the 4 shot officers.
Mm-hmm.
What about your fellow man that you just, you know, you could have shot a kid,
Right, yeah.
right? Like, you guys are, when you hear a SWAT team and stuff like that, they're trained in tact. Right?
Yeah, well, they're trained to absolutely attack, de-escalate,
and tact, like how to do it professionally. And not
tact. I see.
And not hurt innocent bystanders or.
Yeah. However, if you're shooting at me, I'm shooting right back. And I'll tell you, if I'm trained, I'm not going to miss your head.
Right, and so you know, America and Canada is not the same.
Yep.
The firearm laws are way different.
It's more. Man, I was in the U.S. and I went to a pawn shop and like handguns, just like. It was a bit weird. It was like,
Right?
this looks way too easy.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't even legally own a handgun in Canada.
Yeah, you can. You can get a what is it called? Is it concealed? I don't think it's called a concealed, but a restricted firearms license.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't have the right to wear it out in public. And
No, absolutely not. No.
You-
no.
the only real use for it is a gun range for
it's
civilian.
the only time you're allowed to have it.
for civilian, right?
And you have to let's say you have a restricted firearm, like a pistol, and you're going to the range.
Yeah.
You have to call the cops. And like, I'm leaving at 2 p.m. I'll be at the range. That's here. This is my route and everything. So they know where this gun is at all times. Those are the laws in Canada.
And as I said to you earlier, there was like one of these cults, and like I saw an article about was in Montreal. They were another doomsday cult, like a suicide cult.
Mm-hmm.
Their leader name was Roach Terrio.
Terrio, huh?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
Not stepping in that one, Carl. So forget
That's another name. Wait a second. Do we know this person?
Maybe not. I don't know. It's not a name I know. But like, what can someone like? You must be in awful despair to just let go of your family and let go of a life that you have, and then join one of these groups. Even like take groups like the Taliban and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The presence they have of recruiting people, like
Even from here.
right?
Like,
I seen there was some Canadians there charged. It like they were brainwashed or whatever.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
They
Somehow.
joined this the movement,
Yep.
and now they were found guilty of conspiring
To do harm to Canada or whatever. Yeah,
a,
absolutely.
a terrorist act.
Yeah, they left Canada to join a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? It's like it's insane to think about. Like,
That's nuts. Yeah, yeah. Well, and then Trudeau, of course, is like, "Oh, we'll take you back, man." Like, no, they tried to kill you, you stupid fuck.
anybody hear that? Am I the only one? He's always digging, and then says, "I'm the one who likes in trouble." What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
But it's interesting, and I like looking at it from all aspects. Like being one of those people, like what am I thinking? Even like I mean, I call them a cult, and some like these like Tom Cruise and them there. What they're called?
Scientologist.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cult too, man.
Right?
God knows what actually happens there.
A very expensive elite cult.
Yeah.
Right? So that's segment 2, guys. If you guys questions, comments on that, other worthy mentions, do it. So now we're going to talk about cars.
Yeah, cars.
So
That's a much more light topic, Blake. Yeah. Thank you. Jesus.
So growing up, did you have a favorite car? Like what do you like in cars? Do you like the old fashioned muscle cars? Do you like modern looking cars? Do you like growing up was like the DeLorean a thing you thought was like nice?
So those fantasy cars for sure. So the DeLorean is one.
Yeah.
The Ghostbuster Ectomobile,
Okay.
right, was 2.
Yeah. What about the Garthmobile?
The what mobile?
Garthmobile.
Garthmobile. What's the
Wayne's World? Wayne's World?
I didn't identify with that one. I don't think. Although the licorice dispenser was great. Yes, I would like to have that.
No,
and like
no.
the dingo balls.
Now, for me, growing up, I always loved especially the 1980s version of the Trans Am Firebird.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, I always thought
Didn't Nick have one of those, or his dad?
somebody.
Oh, the Camaro.
I think his was a Camaro, but there was a few of those around, especially that year, like those years, 80, 81 model.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, they were so
They're
beefy.
like Corvette-y.
Yeah, Corvette for sure. Like,
So in those times growing up, I like those supercars. So the Lamborghinis, Ferraris, those look cool. Gull wings are super cool.
Import cars, like
Yeah.
Italian and
Italian
so
sports supercars. Yeah,
you like that sort of stuff.
but I didn't. It was like, oh, yeah, that's a cool car, but I never cared per se.
Okay.
As I got older, I had once I started getting my own vehicles. It's like, oh, that'd be cool to have like a Mazda Speed 3.
Yeah.
I had a Mazda 3 hatchback.
Weren't you looking at buying a Mercedes or something at some point?
At that time, so I had an Audi. I had an A4 for a while. Yep.
Yeah.
I looked at them. I preferred the BMWs, but the inside, I went in and I'm like, man, this interior is straight up from the 80s. Like, you guys haven't updated this in like 30 years. You guys are ridiculous.
And I also like they used to call it the Plymouth Prowler,
Okay.
and then they also call it the Chrysler Prowler. So it was always just a nice. I found it was a very sexy car. It was a different looking car. Until they made those. I don't know if you remember those PT Cruisers.
Yeah.
Basically, a PT Cruiser looked like the Prowler with a top on, like a hard top on,
yes,
right?
Yes. And then actually fenders on the wheels.
Yeah.
As I got older and whatnot, though, and my truck, I got into more beefier looking, like more muscle cars. The Dodge Challenger to me is on point.
Yeah. Especially I like the 1970s model of the Charger. Oh fuck, it's
the chart, like what the Challenger is today, what the Charger used to be.
Yeah, but it was nice, right? And I mean, the construction of these cars, like back in the day, were steel. Like it was metal.
It was metal, absolutely.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, not safe at all. You see crash tests between like modern cars and the old cars.
But now everything's plastic.
Super plastic.
So and you don't have to hit hard for it to go.
Especially like the fenders and stuff. Well, and I'll argue between North American cars and like German cars. German cars will actually not fall apart on you. You can Bud, sorry. You can have a fender bender in a German car, and your car will still exist. You can still drive it. Now, if you have an accident, it will strategically crash and fall apart so that you and the interior doesn't get hurt, like crash tests and proper safety stuff.
Yeah.
But North American cars, man, you touch anything and the whole thing just like falls apart, and like $3,000 later to repair it. Wow, like my Audi, it was super icy. I still had summer-ish tires, and I spun right in the middle of the way. I had like a nice storm essentially.
Yeah.
And I bumped into a railing and stopped, and I'm like, oh my god. But then you went looking, like I had a little scratch. Like my car wasn't torn apart like a North American car would.
But you say North American cars, even cars made in Canada in the US, not made the same.
No, they're not.
You get a lot of Americans that come to Canada to buy cars and take them over.
Really?
But they like the...
Oh, our cars have more features. They're more safe. Like to have
Safety, yeah.
We have daytime running lights. Like it's a different car. The cars that we actually import and get in Canada for sale in Canada are different cars, and
right. Than what they send to Americans or anywhere else,
or if they build it for themselves.
Yeah. And
that's a thing.
Like you said earlier, I showed you a video earlier of the TRX Ram with the Hellcat. Like, man,
it sounded good.
That's fucking sexy as fuck. The way that rumbles. Like, seriously, man, as a bachelor, like, you set a girl in that seat next to you and rev it, she's getting wet. Right? Like, yeah, fuck. Hey, baby.
Motorcycle, maybe.
Hey?
I don't know about a truck.
Rev the pedal. Who's your daddy? Right? Yes,
canceled.
I'm a pervert.
We're getting canceled.
But it's like, it sounds fun. And I was watching, they had this truck on a drag racetrack, and they just punched it, and the damn thing just 2 wheels. Like, can you like that? Talk about unsafe. Like, you got no control on 2 wheels.
Hopefully going straight.
Right? You hit it if there's a culvert or a big metal pipe or something, like, you're screwed.
Yeah, absolutely.
No control.
Well, I mean, when they do these things, they're typically at a spot for them.
Say, but like a guardrail or something, like.
Could you imagine?
And like, yeah, so like, and I mean, I've always preferred muscle cars, and like look wise, and just like there's yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I drive a freaking Honda Civic, and I love my little Civic. Like, it's great on gas like that. Yep. And when I saw that truck, I'm like, he was revving. I'm like I said to you a while ago, like, he's revving. There you go, $20 right there.
Oh yeah, for gas,
in gas,
absolutely. Like, and a truck like that, sure. So but that truck is like $95,000, like before tax and all that.
And that's probably like the base model of that truck, right?
That is
like,
the base model of the TRX,
without all the bells and whistles and
well, it's already pretty bells and whistly. I'm like the leather seats and stuff. Absolutely, yeah. But you're right. It's expensive, and that's like the base TRX model.
Yeah,
just like the cool Corvettes, whatever trim you have, like the I don't know much about them, but when you have the ones with the good engines, you still have levels of trim on top of that.
Yeah,
for your body kits and whatnot.
Yeah, so like, and as far as like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like those Italian cars, like the Lamborghinis and Ferraris,
they're fancy. You can drive them here.
And they're nice.
Them.
Our roads, you would never,
can't do it. In Texas, you could though. I was in Texas during February one time, and I was like, this is how you can have nice cars.
And not just that, like,
the roads have been there for like years.
And
like,
here
we change our years every 5 years or so. Like, it's ridiculous.
And here we actually have 4 seasons, so it's not summer 12 months out of the year. So you would have to put them away like summer, early fall. That's it.
and the thing, and even now, like, I don't even want to drive my truck, but I have to because of all the salt on the road. Like, it'll rust away your vehicle. Absolutely,
for sure.
So how long do you have to wait? Like, how many good rainfalls before all that's washed out?
Yeah,
and then making sure there's no more ice or snow falling, because then they're just gonna add more salt.
But then
to the
you, I mean, if you can afford to buy a vehicle at that price tag, you can
probably agreed. You can afford to put it away and have a beater,
and not just that, you can afford like super maintaining it, right? Like oiling it constantly.
Unless you're 22 years old and you think spending $100,000 on that instead of a house or something, right? Which happens all the time.
What is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can afford to, always undercoat it and do the things to really maintain a vehicle,
Yeah.
then you don't mind as much, right? If you're a millionaire, if I'm Donald Trump or
Then whatever.
right, then it's
Doesn't
like
matter.
chunk change.
Chunk change, but at the same time, most of these fancy cars, like, so here you can't drive them. So
No.
even if I could afford it, I wouldn't, because it would not be worth the money. I would have to have it stored in Toronto,
Somewhere else.
not Vancouver, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I have to fly there to go use it. It doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, cars are interesting. Tell us what you think.
What kind of car do you want?
Yeah, tell us about cars you guys like or growing up liking, stuff like that.
Oh, our first comment was by my sister. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Patrina.
All right.
So until next time, guys, have a good one. And please, Carl always says it, do your thing, Carl.
Oh, right. Subscribe, share, link, comment.
Ring the bell on YouTube.
Like. Yeah. Please. You can dislike if you want, but please, more likes, please.
Peace out.